What's up, guys? It's me, EVE, and this is The Eve Effect. Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new here and you've stumbled upon my page, I hope that you'll check me out and then consider hitting the subscribe button. Well, while you're at it, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date every time I drop a new video. So today's video is kind of a haul, but it isn't, okay? I am very tardy to the party when it comes to sharing what I've added to my collection. As some of you may be aware, I was on a bit of a hiatus for like a month and a half. So I didn't get a chance to show you some of the new pickups to my collection back then. And I kind of went back and forth on whether or not it was worth me even making this video. But I just finally said, girl, make the video. So I'm making the video. So the time frame that I've added these fragrances is the end of August, I know, through October. So the end of August through October is the time frame for all these new additions. Now I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to pick one up and share them with you. But I also will say that some of these fragrances I have mentioned already in prior videos. They should have been posted already before you see this one. And I'm actually going to touch on those first really quickly. And to be quite honest, today is just going to be a show and tell, guys. I'm not going to delve deep into any technical aspects or notes or stuff like that. I'm just going to show you the fragrance and possibly tell you how it makes me feel or what it does for me. So it's more of a relaxed video. We're not going to get too knee deep into semantics or anything like that. Just, I'm going to show you the fragrance, tell you a little bit about it, and then we're going to move forward. Okay? All right. Okay, so some of the ones you should have already seen at this point, and if not, I'll go ahead and link that video up above. But I featured Rouge Velours already. This is a new one, as well as Young Rose from Byredo. And then I've also done a solo video on Oud Bouquet. So all three of these, you should have already seen those videos. Again, if not, then I will link it above so you can check it out. So the first one that I want to jump into is Jazz Club from Maison Margiela. Now, I know I'm late to the party. I'm sure many of you have already copped this and added it to your collection, but better late than never, right? So initially I touched on this in a video that I had did prior. It was fall fragrances that I had on my radar, and I had autumn vibes on my radar initially, but when I got my nose on that, to me, it reeked of stale leaves, and I just couldn't get past that. Like, I couldn't pick up anything else besides staleness. So I decided to scratch it off my list, and I happened to get my nose on Jazz Club, and it was an instant yes for me. So put it on my list, and I decided to eventually pick it up. So from this brand, I know Coffee Break is really popular, and I know By the Fireplace is really popular, but to me, in my personal opinion, this is a notch above both of those. What I get from this is a sensual, sweet, smoky type scent, and the smokiness is not overbearing. It's like the aftermath of cigars that have been let out and it's been captured in your hair and in your garments. It's amazing to me how this brand is able to capture a memory or a moment in a fragrance. But when I do smell this, I feel like I am being transported to a date night at a jazz club, and my guy and I were having the time of our lives. I'm looking into his eyes, he's looking into my eyes. We're flirting heavy. The pheromones are going off. The smoke is just mixing with the dark liquor that we're sipping on that night, and you know, it's a wrap after that once we leave the club. But beautiful, sweet, sensual fragrance, and I am definitely glad I added this to my collection. Another thing I do want to say about this is that although it is an EDT, I oversprayed this a bit and it performed very well for me for the day. I didn't have any issues with smelling it throughout the day, so I'm quite pleased with that. So great addition and great fragrance for the fall season. Next up is 100 Silent Ways from Nishane. Now, I also did a video prior called This or That, and basically in that video I took two fragrances from different brands and I put them head to head against each other on which one would be my first purchase from that brand. And this one went up against Ani, and I of course chose Ani as my first purchase. But in the back of my mind, I knew I was eventually going to come back and pick this one up. Y'all, this is such a beautiful, sweet, fruity floral scent. This is so beautiful. So beautiful. And to me, this is not a linear fragrance either. I feel like as this develops, it gets a little bit richer. It also gets a little bit more creamier. Now, this is heavily, heavily compared to YSL's Black Opium. I can kind of understand why that may be, but that's on the ultimate dry down. That's only on the ultimate dry down. And I guess it's because of that thick vanilla that you get on the dry down. There's a little bit of sandalwood, I believe, too, down there. But other than that, this is a gorgeous standalone fragrance that doesn't really need to be compared to Black Opium. Black Opium has a distinctive coffee note that I get from that, and this doesn't. Nothing against Black Opium, that's a nice scent of its own. I've had so many different bottles of that. I've retired that. So I no longer have Black Opium, but I used to ride or die by that fragrance. This is so different in my opinion. It's much more refined. It's a bit more elevated to me compared to Black Opium, but this is a standalone fragrance. We're not even gonna compare it to Black Opium. Black Opium is its own fragrance. This is its own fragrance and it's beautiful, and I'm glad I finally added it. So 100 Silent Waves. Next up we have L'Entrée by Givenchy, and this is Rouge. Now this is obviously a flanker for the original L'Entrée by Givenchy, and that one is in the clear glass bottle if you're not aware already. I've gotten my nose on that. It's good, but it wasn't good enough for me to want to purchase it. Then they came out with the Intense version, and that one is in the black bottle. To me, in my opinion, the Intense version is better than the original version. However, I still wasn't really moved to want to purchase that one, but if I had to pick between the two, I would definitely pick up the black one over the original. But then they came out with this one, and this is the best one out of all three. The best one out of all three of them. This is a warm, spicy, intoxicatingly good, sexy tuberose scent. This is tuberose, honey. This is a sexy tuberose, and she's done so very well. Now, a lot of these brands are doing flankers after flankers after flankers after flankers. I need them to stop. Okay, go ahead and stop here at Rouge because you got the formula right with this one. I need you guys to stop. Don't go further past 3, okay? Don't go any further than this one, please. Let's just stop here. If Givenchy wants to make another formulation, please call it something else. Please do not come out with a 4th iteration of this. This is the best formula in my opinion. It's a creamy, beautiful tuberose scent. Perfect for date night, but quite honestly, I would wear this during the day and transition it into night. I feel like it transitions well for both. Of course, during the day, I wouldn't be so trigger happy, but I definitely would be able to top this off and refresh myself if I was transitioning to the nighttime. But I will say that performance is actually pretty good on this. I don't have any issues with performance. Projection is pretty good as well. So overall, this is a great scent. And I will say of the 3, not only is this the best formulation in my opinion, but I feel like this is less like a designer fragrance and it leans a little bit more niche-ish to me. Does that make sense? Anyways, so this is L'Entrée Rouge. So sticking with tuberose, we have Dosan from Diptyque. Now this tuberose scent is quite different from that of the L'Entrée Rouge. This is a fresh and vibrant type of tuberose. Yeah, more of a fresh, younger, innocent type tuberose. Definitely a tuberose that hasn't been tainted by the world. But it's quite innocent and it has some greenness aspects to it. Almost like there may be like a fig note in here. Not quite like the fig that you would smell in Philossicas from Diptyque, but there is a figgy hint that I get in here, so I'm not sure if that's like the youth of the tuberose or the actual fig note that could be in here. But as this dries down, the tuberose kind of settles a little bit and I get more jasmine that peeks through. So overall, I feel like this is a great everyday type of scent. It's a unique scent actually, but it's an everyday scent. You could wear this every day. Definitely do not have anything like this in my collection, so really happy to add this one. I will also say that this bottle is the special edition bottle for Dosan. It typically has the sticker label, but this one is like almost like an enamel on the bottle, if you can see that. Really beautiful bottle, special edition bottle. So Dosan from Diptyque. So I was finally able to get my hands on a couple more Kayali fragrances, and the first one is Musk 12. Okay, now if musk were to ever be categorized as a clean scent, it would have a picture of this as its avatar. This is the prettiest musk that I've smelled in a very long time. It's not sexy, it's not sensual, it's not alluring, it's not seductive. It's not seductive, it's just pretty. This is a very pretty musk scent. It's got vanilla in here, but it's light and it's airy. And to me, this is a floater. This is a floating type of fragrance. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't really have depth. But layering this with other fragrances, I feel like will add that je ne sais quoi. Just imagine with me for a sec, okay? So the clouds, they live up way up high in the sky, okay? But just imagine that they dwelt amongst us, all right? So you're out and a cloud comes by and it just slowly grazes your skin. And as it grazes your skin, this feeling of satisfaction just comes over you. It's an inexplainable type of feeling that you get, but you feel relaxed, you feel soothed, you feel comforted in a sense. And so that's kind of how I feel about this one. It's an inexplainable satisfaction that I get when I smell this, but it's a floater for sure. It doesn't have depth, but it adds that je ne sais quoi to other fragrances. This is definitely perfect for layering. If you have a fragrance that's missing a little something something, add Musk 12 and it should definitely hit the spot, okay? So I was also able to pick up Vanilla 28. Y'all, the excitement that I felt within when I got the notification that this was back in stock, it was unreal. I was so giddy, okay? So I got the notification from Kayali, it was back in stock. I ran, I did not walk. I ran to the website and I scooped her up. I have been stalking this for months and months and months, it feels like. I stalked Sephora, I stalked Kayali, and they both were out of stock. But once that notification came through, I could breathe again, okay? So I, again, am late for the party with this one. Y'all know what this is. This is a gorgeous, beautiful, simple vanilla. And I don't mean simple disrespectfully. It doesn't have to do all that extra complex stuff to prove how good it is. It's good. And this is like a gourmandish brown sugar vanilla. It's doing the most without doing the most, if that makes any sense. Ooh, I'm so glad to have this one in my collection. If I could make one request, Mona, I don't know if you're gonna catch this video. I don't know if you're gonna come across my channel, but if you could come out with an intense version of this, I will love you forever, forever, and forever. This is a gorgeous concoction on its own. But if we can get an intense version that lasts just a little bit longer and projected maybe just a little bit louder, but if I had to pick between the two, give me a little bit more longevity with an intense version and I will love you forever. I love you already, but I will love you forevermore if you can come out with an intense version of this, okay? And if you need somebody to test it out, I'm your girl, okay? I'm your girl. But Vanilla 28 is finally in my collection and I'm so happy to have her. Okay, so the next newbie I've added to my collection is Kaban from the YSL Vestiaire collection. Now in my last video, I did feature Rouge Velours, which is also from this collection. And so I also picked up Kaban. Now, this whole collection in general, in my opinion, is very much so underrated. I don't really hear a lot about them, but I definitely think it's worth checking out. Now, like I said, I picked up Rouge Velours as well as Kaban, and this one is a gorgeous, sweet yet spicy sandalwood fragrance. And in that sandalwood, I get some hints of coconut. I'm not really sure what that could be, but I definitely get some type of coconut vibe peeking through here. And with that, you would think that this would be a summer or spring scent, but this is more so of a year-round fragrance. And so I've worn this twice already with the cooler temperatures, and it's beautiful. It just plays beautiful off of my skin, plays beautiful when the wind hits it. It's a gorgeous scent. Now, I will say, when I was deciding on this one, I had this one up against another one, and it's called Kaftan. To me, they're kind of similar, but they're not. So this also has like a hint of an incensey vibe as well in here, but Kaftan has a deeper, heavier incensey vibe that it gets, and I think there is like labdanum in that one. Kaftan also is more of an ambery, resinous, so it's a deeper, thicker, heavier fragrance. I definitely would have picked that one up too, but I was already doing the most. I picked up Kaban and Rouge Velours. There was no way that I was gonna get all three at the same time. So I might eventually go back and get Kaftan in the future, but no time soon. I'm definitely happy with this pickup. But the entire line, like I said, I feel like it's underrated. So Kaban, Kaftan, Rouge Velours, there's Jumpsuit, there's Capilene, there's of course the infamous Tuxedo. Just gorgeous fragrances in this collection. If you have not had a chance to check them out, I would definitely advise that you do. This is perfect for the fall in my opinion. If you love this is a rich sandalwood scent. It's not too heavy, it's not too thick, and it's kind of creamy. It's not densely creamy, but it's creamy, and that's definitely an aspect from the sandalwood. Gorgeous, gorgeous scent, and I'm so happy that I was able to pick this one up as well. Okay, sorry y'all, my camera's hating on me today. My battery died, so I had to give it a little bit of juice, but we're back. So I have two more fragrances that I do want to share, but I need to give a little context, set the story up just a little bit. So in my Oud Bouquet video, I talked about how I met a fragrance buddy when I was in Saks, when I was going about buying Oud Bouquet, and her name is Bianca. So Bianca, if you are watching, hey girl, hey. So Bianca is my fragrance buddy that I met at Saks. We're fragrance besties at this point. So we instantly connected. We started talking about different fragrances that we each had in our collection, and really she put me on because she has a huge collection compared to what I have. And so in the midst of us talking about just scents, I could not get over how amazing she smelled, and I kept complimenting her, and I was like, girl, what are you wearing? And she told me that she was wearing a Xerjoff fragrance. And honestly, Xerjoff has really been getting a lot of hype here lately, or at least that's what I've seen. I feel like every time I think about something or somebody mentions something to me, I start seeing it everywhere. And so I've seen a lot of different videos featuring the Xerjoff fragrances. And so she happened to tell me about Xerjoff that day. She was wearing a Xerjoff fragrance that day. So it only felt right for me to go ahead and pull the trigger. So based off of how amazing she smelled, I went ahead and made the purchase as well. So it's kind of a, is it really considered a blind buy? Is it a blind buy if I've smelt it, just not on myself, smelt it on somebody else? I don't know. We're going to say a partial blind buy is what it was. So the fragrance that she was wearing that day was Bouquet Ideal, or Bouquet Ideal. Okay, so she smelled amazing, so I decided to pick it up. I bought it, I purchased it, I got it, I sprayed it, and I immediately got PTSD. PTSD. When I first smelled this on my skin, y'all, do you know what it reminded me of? Raghba from Lattafa. When I say this is about a 95% similar scent to Raghba, I was low-key terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I shelved this for about 3 or so weeks before I decided to come back and give it another chance. So Rogba has this heavy, screechy vanilla, I think it has tonka bean in it with this incense mixed together. It was almost a disaster, y'all. And I'm sorry for anybody who adores that fragrance, but for me, it did not work at all. And I gave it multiple opportunities to kind of change my mind, but it just wasn't working. And so I even did a video about fragrances that I hated and still didn't like. And so that was one of the fragrances that I still just could not get with. So I ended up getting rid of that. So when I smelled this, it reminded me so much of Rogba, so it gave me PTSD, so I had to shelve it, okay? So like I said, there's this vanilla and incensey combination that Rogba and this share similarities with. And I'm gonna get back to this, but I shelved this for about 3 weeks and I decided to give another fragrance from Xerjoff a try. And so I decided to pick up Ivory Root from Xerjoff as well. But this collection is the JTC collection. So Xerjoff has a slew of offerings in its umbrella, and I want to say that Xerjoff has purchased or acquired smaller fragrance companies that have come under the Xerjoff house, and so that's why there are different collections. If I'm wrong, just feel free to correct me down below in the comments, but this is the Join the Club collection, whereas Rogba is the Cosmoratti line. I do prefer this kind of bottle versus this bottle, but getting to this fragrance. So this is a spicy, woody fragrance. And when you first spray this, you get a heaping dose of spices. It's spices on top of spices on top of spices wrapped up in like a heavy smoke. I get a thick, heavy smoke from this, and that plays for about 3 to 5 minutes for me. Then that smoke clears and I get some sweetness that peeks through, but that spiciness that you get on top plays all the way through the end of this fragrance for me. It's not a linear scent. It does develop, it starts to change, but that spiciness stays from top to bottom for me. It's a gorgeous fall centered scent. This is perfect for the fall and winter in my opinion. So I was quite pleased with this pickup, and for me this was going to be the substitution for Bouquet Ideal. So then I decided to go back to Bouquet Ideal or Bouquet Ideal and give it another chance. Okay, I was gonna give it a fair opportunity before I decided if I was gonna sell it. So I decided to give it another shot. Okay, so fresh out the shower, I'm moisturized, I spray myself down with this, I get dressed, and I'm out the door, all right? As soon as I get out the door, that first gush of wind hit my skin, and this just started permeating in the air, and y'all, I loved it. And I was so glad that I didn't get the same experience that I got when I first smelled this. So this is vanilla. I also get some incense in here. It's definitely incensey. And so that's the similarity with Rogba. Vanilla and that heavy incense, but the incense is blended so well in here. I think there's also tonka bean. This is also musky. And there's some spices on the top of this as well. Not really sure, but I want to say there's probably cinnamon in here. All in all, the way this is blended is so nice. Now, I am not 100% yet with this because I'm still recovering from that initial spray and how, you know, it just took me out. It just took me back to Rogba, so I'm still recovering, but I can definitely appreciate this scent, and I definitely understand what Rogba was trying to accomplish. It was this, and so I want to wear this a little bit more, but I think I'm going to end up keeping this one. Now, this does not project very loud on me. This sits closer to the skin. It's not a skin scent. The bubble is about moderate. However, longevity on this is pretty decent. I got about 8 or 9 hours or so with this scent, so that's not too bad. But this isn't a screamer. It's not a beast mode fragrance. It definitely sits closer to the skin, but it's a moderate bubble that sits close to the skin. Whereas this one had no issues with performance whatsoever for me. Longevity, I think I clocked it around 9.5, maybe 10 hours. I started in the morning and I did not top off at night because I wanted to see how it wore. This lasted all day for me. And I did catch this on my jacket, so I could still smell this on my jacket. But this one lasts all day. As far as projection, it doesn't scream, but it does project. And it does project for about 3 or so hours before it came down to like a moderate bubble, and then it lasted in that moderate bubble stage for the longest before it came closer to the skin on me. So overall, it's perfect for the fall and winter time in my opinion. If I had to say, honestly, I feel like these two could be related. There are some similarities when I do smell them on my skin, but this one is definitely like the older like cousin. This is the older cousin to this scent. Between the two, this one's more delicate. It's a little bit more sensual and soft, where this one commands the room. This one commands attention. This is beautiful, y'all. So between the two, like them both, love this one more than this one, but overall I enjoy both of these from the Xerjoff house. I do want to try a couple of others. I was able to get a sample of Lyra. That's a really nice vanilla scent, but for me, that one didn't last very long at all, actually. So I'm not sure if it was just a sample that I got, but it's a pretty scent. Not really sure if it's worth a full-size bottle. Herba Pura I also smell. That's a very sweet and pretty scent. I also got Dolce Amalfi. That one was really pretty too, so I may circle back around on that one. But really happy that Bianca introduced me to Xerjoff, and so now I've got some other fragrances that I can explore as well. All right, so that's everything that I've added to my collection over the last few months. Y'all, I've really been thirsty for the fall season. If you can't tell, most of these additions have been geared more towards fall. I just love the way fall fragrances smell on me. They give me all the feels, okay? I love to dress for fall. I love to smell good for fall. I just don't like the cold, all right? So let me know down below what your favorite fall fragrance is. Also, let me know if you have any of these in your collection and how you feel about them. All right, y'all? So if you haven't already, please take the time to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell down below. I truly, 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 from the bottom of my heart, appreciate your love and support on my channel as we continue to grow. So until the next time, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.